If you were ever wondering what Sam Worthington was doing in between Avatar movies, you'll find your answer in The Shack. The Shack is an adaptation of the book by William Paul Young that sold millions of copies to the same crowd that bought the heaven tourism genre. But this review is not a rebuttal against all of the arguments made in The Shack because there are too many to go over in a short video. Rather, it is a review of the movie in and of itself. Spoiler alert. The main character is Mac, who grew up in a home with an alcoholic father who was also an elder in the church. Fast forward, and now Mac is supposedly a seminary-trained father of 3 children. One day, Mac takes his children on a camping trip, but oh no! While he saves his son from drowning, his youngest daughter, Missy, is abducted. The FBI is semi-competent in this movie, and they locate a shack where they believe Missy was murdered by a serial predator. Understandably, still in pain from the loss of his daughter, one day there is an ice storm, and Mac finds a letter in the mailbox that has not been delivered by the post office. The message is from Papa, the name Missy used for God, inviting Mac to the shack where his daughter was killed. Enraged, but ultimately curious, Mac steals his friend's truck to revisit the shack. But when Mac arrives, he enters a new world. Up until this point, the shack is a compelling story about a man dealing with loss. At about 45 minutes into the video, the shack goes off the wall and stops being a serious movie when God the Father is portrayed as Octavia Spencer. Yes, that Octavia Spencer. And then the Holy Spirit is portrayed as an Asian woman named after a Hindu god, Sarayu. Both God the Father and the Holy Spirit are depicted with wrist wounds of the crucifixion. From there, we get a 20-minute long or so conversation between Mac and the God of the shack, or what I would call a massive exposition dump. And that's really what this movie is. A narrative communication of a heretical author's machination. From there, Mac goes on a vision quest in which he eventually learns that he does not want to judge humanity and so must forgive his father and even the man who murdered his daughter, both of which are either in heaven or going to be. The vision quest ends with Mac being offered a chance to return to his life or spend eternity with God. He chooses life and wakes up in a hospital after having wrecked his friend's truck. But apparently Mac can't drive and never made it to the shack. This movie is an absolute pile of heretical manure. Put simply, the shack's blasphemous portrayal of the Holy Trinity is the baseline of theological concerns. From there, we have a God of lollipops and rainbows. The God of the shack is a God that does not punish evil. It is a God that believes the fundamental problem in man is that they do not see God as good. The most obvious heresy in the shack is universalism. The shack combines unlimited atonement with irresistible grace, and it's a wonder how Satan would not be in heaven with this view of salvation. Yet despite its overt universalism, the shack maintains that what we do in life has eternal consequences. What a joke. This is a horrendous movie that I do not see how anyone outside of the Hillsong cult could enjoy. The acting performance of Sam Worthington is not noteworthy by any stretch, nor are the special effects anything to marvel at. This movie is good by zero merits. It is a horrendous movie, definitely one of the worst faith-based films I've ever seen. So that's all I got to say about that. My name's Ray. This is the Evangelical Dark Web. If you want more Christian movie reviews, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one.